It's such a pleasure to meet you. I think what you've done is very innovative, and I can't wait to get started. So I guess I'll introduce myself, and then you can introduce yourself. And ladies and gentlemen, I want to welcome you to the first episode of my new podcast, the Darnell Weeks Show. I'm Darnell Weeks. Most of you know me as the Myers Fan 25 from my other YouTube channel. And today with me, I have someone very important to the podcast community. He has created a website wherein podcasters can book their favorite celebrities for their podcast. The website is called Podstarz. Please welcome my first guest, Mr. Jay Cowal. Mr. Cowal, how are you?
Good, Mr. Weeks. Thanks for having me. I can't believe I'm your first guest on your first show. I'm pretty important, I guess. I'm feeling the love.
Yeah. So I guess I would ask, how did this whole thing get started? Didn't you say you were a WWE contestant, or you tried out or something like that?
Yeah, I was always my dream was always to be there an NFL player or a professional wrestler. So I went to Ohio Valley when I was just before I turned 19, and I did a quick tryout at a fantasy camp, which actually tied into the Brian Pillman Memorial show. So I got to get in the ring with Ricky Steamboat and Hugh Morris and Mark Henry and a few others, and
Mm.
just learn the basics. So I was there in Dayton, Ohio for 4.5 days, running the ropes, taking bumps. Um, After the 4.5 days, it got to the point where they give you a thumbs up or a thumbs down, and they gave me like a thumbs in the middle, and they said that if I wanted to commit to moving from Toronto, Ontario, Canada, all the way to Ohio and train at Ohio Valley Wrestling, then they'd be willing to give me a shot. And I'm not gonna lie, as much as I love the sport, as much as I want to walk down the ramp and have fireworks go off and get speared by Brock Lesnar, I knew that I just didn't have what it took. It wasn't my thing. I was extremely sore after 4.5 days, and I had a baby on the way, so it probably wasn't a good idea to commit myself to professional wrestling at that point. So, I gave it a shot, and it didn't work out as well as I would have hoped. But everything happens for a reason.
So you say Brock Lesnar. So is this about 2001 then?
This was so my oldest was born in '99, so it'd be in '98.
Okay, wow. Okay, so he was a I guess what you would say, he was not contestant, but he was one of their I don't know the technical term for it, but he was a part of Ohio
And
Valley Wrestling. Is that correct?
I would think he was a little later. I think him and John Cena and Randy Orton and Shelton Benjamin, they came in at the same class. I think it was a
Hmm.
little later. But when I meant speared, I meant like being like Roman Reigns now, getting speared by Brock
Oh,
Lesnar, not
okay.
back then.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I guess my next question would be, how did Podstarz come about? Because most businessmen have an origin story. Would you agree with that? Like they don't just come
Oh,
out of nowhere.
1000%. Yeah.
So tell us how that happened.
Sure. I'll tell it as short as I can. In the first wave of COVID, I'm in my
Hmm.
garage, just like everybody else. You're locked down, you have nothing to do, no one to talk to other than your significant other. So I was in my garage, and I would be having a few too many adult beverages and just
Yeah.
sitting there, people watching. And my wife came out to the garage, and I was listening to podcasts at the time, and she said, like, you can't just keep doing this. Sooner or later, you have to figure something out. Like, she's doing something just to fill the time. Other people are doing. I was just sitting in the garage drinking by myself, listening to podcasts. Um, so then I had the idea. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to start my own podcast. So I did. Within 3 months, I had about 17 episodes dropped, and I got contacted by a company to do ad reads on my show. And they said, we love what you're doing. We'd love to support you. We need to see your numbers, and we'd like to do ad reads on paid ads on your show. I didn't have any idea what that meant. I wasn't doing this for the money. So sure, I figured out how to get my download numbers over to them. And they said, like, your downloads just aren't where they have to be. We need more, somewhere between 400 and 800, somewhere in that ballpark. I was averaging like 120 downloads a week. So I said, well, what is your advice? How do I take this next step? How do I grow my show? I don't know what to do. And they said a lot of people get big name celebrities on their show and be able to put it on social media that I'm having Samuel Jackson or
Yeah.
someone of that nature on my show, and it starts bringing people to your show, and then once you've got them, it's your job to keep them. Okay, cool. So I'm on Twitter, I'm on Instagram, I'm on Facebook, I'm reaching out, I'm trying to get people on my show, and 97% of the time I'm not getting an answer back. And when I am getting an answer back, it was usually no, until I got one professional wrestler, and I'm not going to say who it was, but I got an ex-professional wrestler who agreed to come on my show for $60 US.
Okay.
I said, you know what, it's a gamble, but I'm willing to do it. So I sent him the money like he'd asked, and on the day of the podcast, he didn't show up. Contacted him on social media. I was not getting any responses back. 4 or 5 days went by, 6 days, 7 days. I'm still sending him messages, no answer back. Finally, I see these on social media, so I immediately started saying some unsavory things towards him, saying like, "You took my money. Why aren't you doing what your obligation?"
Mm-hmm.
And after calling him out on social media, he finally agreed to come on, and we did get the interview done. But that was after almost 2 weeks of chasing him and shaming him on social media.
Yeah.
So that happened to me, and then this wheel started to turn, knowing that podcasting is about to blow up. I had a feeling it was going to blow up, and still blowing up as we speak. And I decided like it shouldn't be this hard to get people to do your podcast. Because it's good promotion for the celebrity. They're getting free promotion. They don't know who's listening to your podcast. It could be anybody.
Yeah.
So they get to talk about their signings and their appearances and their TV shows and their books, whatever the case is. The podcaster gets to have them on the show. You get your downloads up, da da da. So I said, like, how can I make this easier? There has to be a better way, as the old saying goes. And sure enough, I took a little bit of what Cameo's doing, whereas you can rent a celebrity to say happy birthday or Merry
Mm-hmm.
Christmas or something of that nature. And I incorporated it into a website. These celebrities are getting bombarded by people all the time. Do my show, do my show, do my show. And they're not getting anything out of it other than the free publicity. So I knew, because I was getting people saying, I'll only do it if you pay me. I knew it was about to be a thing, and I wanted to get ahead of the train. So that's what I did. I created Podstarz. It's a one-stop shop. You go on the website, you see the celebrity that you want to be on your show, you see how much they're asking to be paid per appearance, and it all happens within the click of a button. You book them. My website converts time zones so nobody messes up. My website sends out reminder emails to both parties so nobody forgets about their obligations. We do
Mm-hmm.
free graphics for both parties saying that you can put it on social media, and the celebrity follows you and tweets about the podcast, as does Podstar. So we've made sure that when you book a celebrity through our website, you are getting the most possible bang for your dollar, including having the celebrity and getting the downloads and hopefully grabbing some new audience to come to your show. Because at the end of the day, with 8 billion podcasts or whatever the magic number is now out there, you have to stand out. You have to do something to differentiate yourself between your show and every other show that's out there. Otherwise, you're just another podcast that people are going to ignore.
I agree with that. That was well said. I couldn't agree more. And I hope that this
Thank you.
show can differentiate itself from other shows. I hope it happens for me. So we'll see as time goes on. But my next question is, as we go further into the digital age, podcasting has become increasingly popular, as you pointed out. And in 2022, the world was introduced to Podstarz. And as you said, it is a website that allows podcasters to book celebrities, to book interviews with their favorite celebrities, excuse me. And with these genres like sports entertainment and film and television, could you please elaborate on exactly what is Podstarz? Even though you sort of went into it already, but how exactly did you come up with the name? Because you already said how you came up with the concept. So how did you come up with the name?
So we were beating ideas back and forth. So it's myself and two other partners. We're lifelong friends. So we
Mm-hmm.
did this all together. It was my idea, but I couldn't have done it without them. So the three of us were beating our heads off a wall, thinking like we have to come up with something catchy, one word, something that's going to get in people's minds. And I was downstairs watching football, and my wife actually came up with the idea. She's like, "What about Podstarz?" And I was like, it's like a light bulb went off, and I was like, "That's absolutely perfect," because you get the best of both worlds. You get pod for podcasting, you get stars for the celebrities. Put it all together, it just made perfect sense.
I love the
So
name, by the
my
way.
wife is the champ. Thank
I
you.
love that name, by the way. You'll have to send me a hat or whatever. I love
I think I
Podstars,
had a few hats or some stuff laying around.
and I want to thank you guys for being so kind to me and reaching out to me on social media. Thank you so much. I had somebody tweet at me from your
No
company.
problem.
They said, we respect your hard work. Or I don't know if it was you or someone else, but somebody tweeted that at me. So I want to say thank you because I have been working difficult. This is not easy. It's very hard. So I want to thank you for the respect that you've shown me. Thank you so much.
Hey man, you know what? You're welcome. At the end of the day, like I didn't start this business to become a billionaire. I mean, if it happens, that'd be fantastic. I did this because I'm a podcast fan and I respect the grind and I know the
Hmm.
grind. And I know the stats are, I think it was like 6% of the people continue to podcast after like, I think it's 8 episodes is the magic number. Most people throw in the towel because they don't see the instant gratification. It is a grind. If you put it this way, man, if you're starting a podcast, 99% of the time it's about something that you're passionate about. Like
Hmm.
you and Halloween movies. We know that you're very passionate about Halloween and Michael Myers. You started that podcast about horror movies and Michael Myers and things of that nature, right? So
Yes.
if you're not seeing the dividends of your hard work after 8 or 9 episodes, a lot of people are just like, you know what? I tried, it wasn't working out, and they just quit. But you're doing it because it's a passion. So why would you ever want to quit something that you're passionate about? So
Yeah.
that's why I did this because I see what people are doing, and
Hmm.
there are a lot of people who are doing wrestling podcasts and sports podcasts and music podcasts. Um, and the thing is, like I brought up earlier, how do you separate yourself from those people? You can talk about Raw or SmackDown or WrestleMania, but every other wrestling podcast is doing the same thing. What
Hmm.
better way than to have somebody who actually was in a WrestleMania on your show to talk about what happened in the 90s to where we are now? Like, there's so
Yeah.
many different ways that you talk to somebody who's experienced and can bring something to your show to bring listeners in. And like I said earlier as well, once you have those listeners, you have to keep them. And how do you do that? Fresh content, awesome, cool ideas, giveaways. Like, the grind is very real and I respect it. So I want everyone to be successful. And if I can help you out and be a little part of that with Podstarz, then that is my goal at the end of the day.
And that's why I respect you because I'm not trying to make this personal, but one thing that always bothered me, Mr. Cowell, is the fact that so many people like myself and like yourself would reach out to these people and the representative would just be like, no, or
Exactly.
they would they sometimes they'll lie to you, but a lot of times, sir, they just, I don't know if you've experienced this, but a lot of times they just come on out and just say no. They
Yes.
and they like, there are zero F's given, excuse the expression, but
No,
they will tell you no. They don't care how you feel about it. It's just no.
right.
So with people like you and your company out there, there are essentially taking, I don't want to say taking the authority away, but you're basically putting it into your hands and into the hands of the fans and saying, now you can decide if you want Devon Dudley on your show. Now you can decide if you want uh Jamie Lee Curtis, just for an example. She's not on your website, but you know what I mean. So it's better that
Absolutely.
that the fans get to decide, and a lot of times, suppose the celebrity doesn't even know that their management passed on the interview. Now they get to decide for themselves what they want to do, you know? So that's what, to
Right.
me, that's what
Yeah.
makes me have to support your business, sir. I'm gonna support you until the end, because this is a very innovative thing you're doing, and I love it, and I hope to be a part of Podstarz someday, maybe I don't know, working for the company, but we can edit that part out. But anyway, my next question would be, as of 2025, Podstarz proudly operates now out of Miami, Florida. But however, many longtime supporters of the platform would be well aware of its Canadian roots, which has played a
Yes.
significant role in shaping its identity. So, given this rich cultural background, have you ever considered collaborating with renowned Canadian actors? For instance, Amber Marshall from Heartland, or Megan Follows, or Colum Feore from Storm of the Century, and I think he was in another movie called Bad Cop, Bone Cop, or something like that. Have you ever considered working with these people?
We've reached out to, I mean, I don't even know what the number is. It's got to be in the thousands of celebrities, whether it be athletes, actors, musicians, whatever the case may be. So I've lost track of everyone that we've pitched. As for Canadian content alone, the thing about being in Canada, and how do I say this? As much as I'm proud and I love being here, and I'm super, I'm very patriotic.
Mm-hmm.
The divide between Canada and America is still extremely large, especially when it comes to podcasting. So to
Mm-hmm.
break that down, what I mean is there's a couple of shows that we have here, Trailer Park Boys being one of them, that's all over the world. Everybody knows the Trailer Park Boys.
Mm-hmm.
But there's also a lot of other Canadian shows that we have that only Canadians are privy to. So we're very cognizant on who we reach out to, because we don't want to have all of these Canadian actors on our website when we don't have a lot of Canadian podcasters on our website to book the Canadian talent.
Yeah.
Otherwise, these actors and actresses are just sitting there and not getting booked and wondering why they're on Podstarz to begin with.
Yeah.
So we have to be very careful until we blow up like Cameo, because the podcasters in Canada, and trust me, I've been to a bunch of podcasting seminars in Canada. I've been to a bunch of podcasting meetups here in Canada. Um, they're very different than the American podcast community, whereas the American podcast community seems to want to have more guests and do interviews, whereas Canada is very, I'm doing my own show about whatever I'm doing it about, and if it fails, it fails, but I'm going to keep trucking along. So they're not all that guest orientated. So
Yeah.
App or Zelle or any of these forms of payment, we could only use PayPal to give money to the celebrity talent in the States and in the UK that we have as well.
Mm-hmm.
We needed to find a way to break into Venmo and Zelle so we could pay celebrities, because we've had a bunch of celebrities turn us down and say, I don't like PayPal. I don't want to use PayPal. If you don't have this, then I'm not interested. And that was starting to limit us on growing. So we quickly took on an American partner who's now a part of Podstarz as an owner, and he got us access to an American bank account, Venmo, Zelle, whatever the case is. So that's why we're currently says we're based out of Miami, because technically, according to the tax man, we are now an American company.
Oh, okay. And you sort of broke up a little bit there. So,
Oh, sorry.
yeah, I don't know if so you obviously can't go all the way back to what you were saying, but so the bottom line is you were having issues in Canada, and so now you're based out of Miami so that you are now able to pay these celebrities. Is that basically what you were saying?
Yeah, basically PayPal is a very difficult site to navigate as far as
Mm-hmm.
they hold funds for 5 days. It's not user friendly, and a lot of celebrities don't like using it. So they needed access to Venmo, Zelle, or Cash App. And
Yeah.
now that we have an American partner who's now in line with our business based out of Miami, we are now officially based out of Miami, although we were built from scratch here in Canada.
But you are aware of some of the actors that I've mentioned, right? Now, you do know who Megan Follows is from Anne of Green
Um,
Gables?
I do know, all of the names that you mentioned. We've either talked to their management or seen them at Comic Cons that they do here in Canada. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
we're very aware of them. But as I stated, we're really trying to make sure that when we get a celebrity on our site that they get booked as much as possible. And
And
if
I
the American
totally
podcast
understand that.
community doesn't know, then yeah,
Mm-hmm. I completely understand that. And that's why I kept urging a certain celebrity that I won't mention on here because I don't want to put her name out there like that. But you know who I'm talking about. A lot of horror fans will definitely book her, which I'm going to cut that out of the interview, but you know who I mean.
yeah.
Um, so she's going to be booked a lot. I'm going to tell you that straight up because in America, she is very popular.
Mhm.
So I completely see what you mean by that. I agree with you. If I'm gonna make an investment, I want a return on that investment. So
Exactly.
I completely understand. I really do. Um, and my next question would be, what is your ultimate goal for Podstarz? Where do you see it 5 years from now?
You know what, darn it, I wish I could. It's a tough question to answer because when we first launched, so we're going into our third year in March. We'll be 3 years
Mm-hmm.
old. We started off with a bang. We've hit peaks and valleys throughout this 2.5 years. Um, the biggest problem we've experienced with Podstarz is getting ourselves in front of the podcast community. Social media is great, but you need to go viral. People need to know who you are. Otherwise, you're just another podcast site or something of that nature, tweeting hashtag podcast, hashtag interview, hashtag celebrity. It's very difficult to get your product in front of the podcast market unless you have a lot of money from marketing. Because put it this way, if you're Calvin Klein and you put up a billboard in Times Square, people know, wow, that's Calvin Klein. I wear jeans. I want to buy those jeans because I've seen that person wears those jeans.
Yeah,
I could have Ryan Reynolds with a Podstarz t-shirt on in the middle of Times Square, and the podcast market is so niche compared to the people in the world, the return on investment would be zero. Um,
yeah,
like anytime you want to market, you have to market to your customers or to your proposed customers, which is the podcast community. And there's not exactly a great way to do that. I mean, you can duck in and out of Facebook chat rooms. You can go on Twitter. You can go on Instagram. I mean, you can do all of these things, but there's no surefire way to market towards the podcast community. So that being said, it's in 2026. We're going into 2026. I don't know where I see us. I'm trying to, myself and my partners are trying to grow this as fast as possible. Like I said, it's been peaks and valleys. The people who use our product are repeat users and love it. For one, they love the customer service that we provide because we only deal with real people. So 99% of the time, it's me talking to you via email or social media. So people love that part of it because these days everything's AI or some sort of chat box or whatever.
yeah.
Um, so our goal is just to grow as fast as possible and to get our product in front of the podcast community as fast as possible. So we have something in the works. So that being said, in 2026, I would like to have I would like to expand our user base exponentially and be a lot more help to the podcast community.
And I will say I definitely learned a lot because I thought that it was basically you just book this person, book that person, but from what you're telling me, it's not at all what I believe it to be. It's not that easy because that's why I wrote the question about Amber Marshall and Column Fiore and Megan Follows, because I said, surely this man has contemplated talking with these people. I said, wait a minute, I got to go and ask him about this. I said, it has to be, he's doing something wrong. But now that you tell me all this, I'm learning a lot. So thank you for educating me.
Yeah, and just to touch on your point from earlier when you said that podcasters are getting rejected by management teams and things of that
Yes.
nature, trust me, brother, we are getting the same thing as a company. We get a lot of doors slammed in our face by management teams who say our clients aren't interested. Most of the time, I would assume the clients don't even know that this is being presented, but this is what we're dealing with. So you're getting it, we're getting it, but that's all going to change because terrestrial radio is dying. Podcasting is the best free way of promotion you could ever dream of because
Yeah.
you never know who's listening. You could have 50 followers or 500,000 followers. The celebrity doesn't know that. So, and they're getting compensated for their time. So there's really a no lose situation
Oh, let me
other than
tell
the time
you,
it takes
I
to be
know,
interviewed.
I know. I'm sorry for interrupting, but
That's okay.
this is enthusiasm speaking here. Let me tell you, sir, I know you're going to change the game. I'm telling you straight up and down. The one thing you'll know about me is whether I'm called the Myers fan or whether I'm called by my real name. Either way, I give it to you straight up and down. You're going to change the game as long as you keep at it. Because now
Well,
that people can be a part of something and not worry about being rejected, that's game changing to me. That's game change. That's almost like going to a convention but being at home. The only thing
that's
you're
exactly
not
what it is.
doing
Yep.
is presenting autograph signings. That's the only thing you're not doing. Now, if you added an autograph signing, then it would really be over. You might kill conventions because
Yeah, no, that's not a bad idea. Yeah.
they might say, well, shit, why should I go to a convention when I can just go on Podstarz and get all this stuff and just
It's not a
stay
bad idea.
home? So
Yeah.
my final question would be that those that know me know that I'm an avid fan of the Halloween franchise, which leads me to this question. On June 3rd of this year, 2025, Podstarz announced the signing of Canadian stuntman Brad Loree, who's renowned for his chilling portrayal of Michael Myers in the controversial film Halloween Resurrection. So please tell
Yeah.
us how that came about. How did you sign him?
Actually, Brad was actually referred to us by another one of our signees that we had. So the way it works, it's fantastic. Comic-Con's a perfect example. If I walk into a Comic-Con and I shake hands with a celebrity and I give him a business card and I tell him about our business, a lot of the times they do the cons so much that they know the guy over at table 6 or the guy at table 9 or table 12 because they all
Mhm.
travel in the same circles. So when I give people this sort of information and they like it, they'll go to that person, whether it be over dinner later on that night or maybe even in that convention later on, and they'll go be like, hey, that guy in the purple shirt from Podstarz, you can make money being a podcast guest. And all of a sudden the wheels start to turn, one thing turns to another, and I get an email or a social media notification from somebody
Right.
saying, hey, I heard about your company. I'm interested in joining. And that's what happened with Brad. I don't remember who referred him, but Brad actually reached out to us and said, hey, this is who I am. This is what I do. I'd love to be on your website. And I was like, I love to have you because I have to tell you, brother, you and I have known each other for a couple of years and we've talked for a long time. I've been trying to get horror genre people on the website forever because I'm a huge Jason guy. So you're a Myers guy, I'm a Jason guy. So getting a Kane Hodder or someone of that nature, a
Right.
Derek Mears, was one of my goals. So
Mhm.
unfortunately, a lot of the horror guys that I reach out to, like Kane Hodder, doesn't want to be on podcasts. And hey, no harm, no foul. At least Kane said that to me. Very nice guy, by the way. He said he just doesn't like podcasts. He'll do them for his friends or whatever, but that's about it. And I totally understand that. So having a guy reach out from me who was Michael Myers saying, I want to be on your site, I was like, thank Lord, finally someone is willing to take a stab on us, because once one person from the horror genre comes in, hopefully we can grow that into many, many more and actually get more of a horror catalog going on, because those are my favorite movies. So that'd be
Yeah.
great for me.
And I didn't know that. See, so we can talk about this. Zoom is telling me that I'm running out of time, but I just want to let you
Gotcha.
know that it has been a pleasure talking with you. It's been a pleasure meeting you. I want to
Thank
thank
you.
you
You too.
once again for reaching out to me when you didn't even know who I was. I'm like, why are these people talking to me? I'm like, I must be somebody important, because I was like, well, wait a minute, they're verified. They got the little blue check mark there. So I'm like, why are they talking to me? And you guys were so kind. So thank you so much for that. Once you start getting more horror related guests on here, I will definitely refer some of my friends over here. I could refer them now, but they're more into horror, so I figured I would wait until you were able to sign more, and then I will refer them over. So, Mr. Cowal, thank you so much for being the first guest on my show. And I want to tell you that I believe that you're going to change the game. You just hang in there, and you're going to make it where these podcasters don't have to worry about being told no anymore. So
That's
you
the
just
goal.
you just hang in there, man. Thank you so much for being a part of my
Thank you.
show. I
You're very
really
welcome. Thanks for having
appreciate
me.
it. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome from Podstarz, Mr. Jay Cowal. Mr. Cowal, thank you again.
You're very welcome, sir. Thanks for having me.